The biggest requirement that we've got, well, there are two, but one of them is for site densification. So this is important to understand, this whole thing about spectrum and frequencies and those kind of things. When we build a base station in the Northern Cape, in that rural area, we would do it at 700, 800, 900 megahertz, and we can cover 30 kilometers or even maybe longer. But if you're in an urban area and you need very, very high speeds, you need to go up in frequency. So that demo that we did that gave us 17 gigabits per second was done at 28 gigahertz. Okay, so today we run at typically between 1 and 2 gigahertz on our networks. That's 28 gigahertz. Now, the higher the frequency, the smaller the footprint becomes. And think about the implication of that, and the implication for your world is if I've got higher speeds, I need higher frequencies. If I've got higher frequencies, the coverage area of that tower becomes very small. So that 30 kilometers suddenly becomes 1 kilometer, and maybe even 400 meters in a city center. So suddenly I have to build many, I'll say it one more time, many sites to cover that. That 50,000 towers is going to go up by orders of magnitude. And this is what we call small cells and small cell densification. So one of our biggest challenges is how do we get all these sites, that we can get 5G onto those sites, that we can get the high speeds to people. Okay? And then secondly, think what it does to backhaul capacity. So today we have fiber to our sites, but you know the bandwidth is a few hundred megabits per second. That's all we need right now for 4G. So I don't think we've got sites that probably sit over a gigabit per second. We just don't need it per tower. But suddenly I've got a capacity of 10, 20, 30 gigabits per second per tower. So, and today I've got 50,000 towers, and some of them are connected to fiber. That fiber comes back into my core network. It comes onto my rings. And I mean, you can know the game. You add all of the stuff up, and you get to a certain capacity that you need on your backhaul networks. Suddenly, I need 10 times the capacity per end node, and I've got 10 times more nodes. So what the hell is that going to do to the fiber networks in the back end? So basically, my appeal to you guys is to start digging, because we need these things. And without strong fiber backhaul and very, very high-speed fiber, we're just not going to get these 5G towers out. So although 5G, in my opinion, will definitely, wireless will always serve more end nodes than fiber itself. Without a strong fiber network, there is no 5G network, right? So to summarize, we know the fourth industrial revolution is going to change the world. We understand that we need a whole new suite of enabling network technologies. And we understand that from a mobile perspective, it will be 5G. One of the reasons we can do that 500 megabits per second and 4G is because things like MIMO and those kinds of things get rolled back into 4G. So 4G will be around for a long, long time, but it will never have that outright speed capacity that we can get of 5G because of a different air interface and the antennas and so on and the cell densification. But 5G is absolutely the way that we will go. But the important point is we're going to need substantial non-5G stuff to make the 5G work, and that are those two things that I just spoke about, the number of sites and the backhaul speeds. And funnily enough, today I didn't talk a lot about spectrum, which I normally just carry on about. But of course, without the right spectrum, 5G uses completely different spectrum, and we haven't got any of it. So, you know, even if we've got these fiber networks, if we don't get the right spectrum, there's not going to be 5G networks.